To say, hey, I'm not going to be able to come or whatever. But again, welcome. I am going live also from Facebook and for YouTube right now. It started on TikTok this morning. So, welcome, you guys. We are going to be talking about plants and entitlement. But yeah, this energy is just a little bit different nowadays around interviewing and bringing on new candidates. And again, I'm a small business. I'm not a hefty corporation where I have all of these resources to offer. So, curating a really comforting, nurturing space is really important, but also can be very difficult, especially since a lot of my practice has moved to telehealth. And so a lot of what we do works from home. And so it can be very difficult to curate that kind of space when a lot of time people are working remotely. So just getting creative and engaging staff and nurturing them and loving on them is really, really, really important, but also can be really difficult. So as you guys are coming in, again, welcome. My name is Sade, the therapist. I'm really excited about being intentional and going live more often because I do posted content um, regularly or consistently, rather. But I do not go live often at all. So my goal was to go live a bit more often so I can converse and interact. Because this is really important in the work that I'm doing and supporting people where they are and with what they need. So with that, I'm excited to be with y'all today. So we're going to get started. The talk today is about entitlement. And again, while I'm doing this, you guys we're gonna do a lunch and learn or a talk and walk or whatever you want to call it. Because I'm getting prepared to do some interviews in about 45 minutes. I have interviews all day. I think I have maybe 10 interviews set up for today that I have to do. So we're going to chat while we get set up for that. So again, for those of you that are unfamiliar with me, I am Sade, the therapist. I've been a therapist a while. I have a group practice. I make merch in the trap healing and shit. You can get this on my website. Plants. I have 10 published books that I would encourage you to purchase. They're in my links in my bio, which my website is the Mahogany Project, and all of that stuff is there also. So today we're going to talk about entitlement. Side note, please, if you like the live, share it, send gifts. I'm learning all of these things as I'm starting to go live. It feels like begging, and I don't like it. But I know you have to say and ask for the things. I get it. Okay, so we're going to talk about entitlement today. If you like the live, again, please like and share. I was just listening. So back up. One of my things that is, I don't even want to say a guilty pleasure. It's just a pleasure that I really enjoy is to watch court TV. So I've been watching a lot of Judge Faith lately. And it was just this interaction that happened that really set a fire with me that I really wanted to talk about, which is why entitlement was on the docket for today. It was a mother suing her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. And essentially, mom had been giving to daughter for one reason or another, just wanting to help her, wanting to help her survive, her and her children. But she now has this person who she's now had another child with, is the primary caregiver or provider rather, and is not providing, and she's not working, and mom is on a limited income, and yada yada yada. So it was something the gentleman said that really bothered me. He said something to the effect of, well, family, they're supposed to help you. Um, Family's supposed to help you. Why is it that we should pay you back when you are her mother and you're responsible for helping us? And I have an adverse perspective to that. And mind you, this young lady is 24 with two kids. So not only have you decided to have children, you've decided to not work. You've decided to have another child with someone who also doesn't keep a job or consistently provide. So you're making choices that you then want your mother to be responsible for financially, even though you're not being responsible financially. And I don't understand how that works. I think it's interesting that adults will make excuses for why they can't do something or for why they're not providing for themselves, but then have expectations of others to do the things that they should be doing for themselves. Not that they can't do, but that they won't do. I don't really understand that. I don't understand the entitlement, this idea that you are responsible for my responsibilities. I don't understand that. And I don't understand why there's this energy like, if you don't do this for me, you're not doing your job. Not the fact that I have to even ask means I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. That part I don't understand. Or I do, rather. It's this idea. And again, with mom, she explained that because the daughter had a traumatic experience when she was younger, she replaced having boundaries with her with overdoing, overworking, over providing, with this idea that it would somehow fix it. And it can't fix something that broke in that way. That doesn't change the experience. And it seems like they built this relationship around providing, that mom had very little boundaries, very little requirements, very little established expectations for her, where she would just do and do and do. And the daughter would do less and less and less. But the expectation is that you're going to give to me and provide for me. You're my mom. That's your job. But there comes a point, excuse me, one where I'm a mom, and one of the things that I say is there's a difference between what I am responsible for and accountable for as a mother, and everything else is extra. And when you hit a particular age, you're now responsible. Whatever else I do is a gift. It is a privilege. I am not responsible for you as an adult person in that way. Now, because I also believe in not biting the hand that feeds you. Be very cognizant of the people that pour into you. Be very cognizant of the things that they do and give to you, and the privilege you have and access to them and their resources, because they don't have to do that for you. For whatever reason they do it, that is their choice, but yeah, they don't have to do any of it. So it's also being like grateful and having gratitude and being cognizant of that fact, instead of this attitude like they owe it to you. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. You're going to have a really hard time if you think that people owe you anything, or that you're entitled to have things that other people are working really hard for. That makes for a very difficult life and experience, especially because I can only imagine the attitude that comes off because of it. Um, I will also say that as parents, it's our responsibility to teach accountability and teach boundaries, and not only teach it but model it. And we model, by modeling we're teaching. No, I don't owe you anything. No, I'm not responsible for the things that you can do for yourself. No, like, we have to consistently teach, model, say those things, and hold them accountable to those things, because if not, as they get older, you will see the interaction that happens, and it only gets worse. Like, it only gets worse. I don't know that it gets better if you're not establishing boundaries consistently, if you're not holding them accountable, if you're enabling them and doing all the things like Don't let your guilt set them up to fail in their adulthood. Do not let your guilt as a parent set your children up to fail, simply because you have shame or guilt that has nothing to do with them. They still have to learn how to take care of themselves, and they have to understand the context of the world, which means nobody owes them anything. Because if not, they'll be very disappointed. Very, 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 very disappointed. And y'all see the world we're living at this particular point. They don't even want to do things for people who quite literally struggle and can't. So they're certainly not going to do anything for an able-bodied individual. And you can't be set up to believe that that's uh, okay. Let me know if you still can't hear me. I don't know why. Okay. Yeah, let me know. Um, so I don't know why people would have this idea that as an able-bodied individual, you would feel entitled to someone else taking care of you. And again, I am a parent, but I'm also again a therapist. And one of the things that I hold people accountable for is your shit. Don't make other people responsible for your shit, your needs, your wants. You be the provider for that, and everything else is a plus. If you need help, if you need support, and all of that, open your mouth and ask. But you cannot approach people as if they are completely responsible for you. And then show lack of gratitude when people give you resources, time, effort, energy that they are not required to do or give. Um, Again, I this energy of you owe me is very dangerous. Um, it's very dangerous because more than what anyone else owes you, what do you owe yourself? Do we not owe ourselves the responsibility of getting up and making sure our needs are met? Don't we owe ourselves that? Don't we owe ourselves and the children we create to get up and do the things we don't want to do or take responsibility for that? Don't we owe that to them? Um, I used to be ungrateful because I always wanted to. I'm reading comment. I used to be ungrateful because I always wanted the people I wanted to be there, not the ones who were. Right. And it's hard because I love that you said that, because I think it also expands the conversation. Uh, we have people in our corner and in our lives that we ignore because we know they're going to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to show up for us. They're going to comfort us. They're going to love on us. They're going to take care. They're going to do all the things. And we show them so little gratitude. Like we take for granted all that they pour into us until they stop, until they leave, until they go away. And a really good example of this that I'm going to use is I work with, of course, a lot of folks who had their mother and didn't have their father. So, I'll notice that they'll come into therapy and they have all this shit to talk about the parent that stayed. Oh, they were hard on me and they were this and they were that and they were this and they were that. And I'm like, well, what about the parent who never showed up? You have all these expectations for the person who stayed, not recognizing not only how much weight it was put on them to stay and be all the things. Then not only that, then you kick their back in with the lack of gratitude and the hurt that you're causing because you are not only overlooking their sacrifices and their love and their effort, but then you give the other person who you're so desperately wanting to be there a pass because all you want is them to show up. They don't have to do much. The expectations of them are very low because you're so desperate for their attention and connection that if you just give me just show up and do this little thing. If you just do this little thing, I'll be grateful. But the person who's doing all the things, well, you're supposed to do all that. You're as a matter of fact, I'm pissed at you because you did this, and this to me. Fuck all the other shit you did and you do for me every day. It's a very interesting dynamic, but it happens more often than you think because really get delusioned by desperation. We get delusioned by our desire for a particular connection or relationship, that we forget about the people who we didn't even have to ask to show up. They just did. We didn't even have to ask for them to give to us. They just did. We didn't even have to ask for them to love us. They just did. Or provide for us. They just did. Or like show up for us. They just did. We take for granted those particular individuals, because that is what they've always done. I think about the conversation around people. Okay, so another example is like, I get a lot of people who will say, man, I'm the person who shows up. I'm the person who people rely on. I'm the person that does this and does that. So why doesn't anybody do it for me? Well, now that's the expectation, love. Now that's the expectation. And not only is it the expectation, if you're doing all of this and not specifically saying what you need, the energy you also give is, I don't need this to be reciprocal. This is one way because I got all my shit together and I don't need all of that. Except you actually do. Except you're desperate and crying in the car. Except that you consistently say how people don't show up for you, but you also don't make it clear and know that you need that. Like, it is quite often. I have this conversation quite often, and I don't hold any shit with my clients. I have very clear, direct conversations with them. I do cuss, we do dance, we have dance parties, we do all that kind of shit, but I don't hold any shit with them. So I'm like, okay, so you want people to show up when the message that you've clearly sent is that's not what you need. You're too good. Okay, well, what are we mad at? What is the complaint? If like that's the message you consistently send. Help me help you. Because I know what I just heard. But what did you hear yourself say? Because what I heard was something different. It sounded like you didn't need shit. It sounded like you told them no, no thanks. It sounded like you want to model some shit, but you want to act like you've got all your shit together. I don't know how that works. How are you helping yourself here? And the other part to this is, I will tell you, I was that person. I was that person. And a hard lesson I learned personally was years ago. I was going through a really difficult experience, a very, very life changing experience. And somehow my mom came down. Either I specifically asked her, or I don't remember how that happened, but she came down. And so we were sitting on the couch. And again, I'm just going through a really hard time. And I remember asking her, Mom, why is it, because I have four other sisters. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. I remember asking my Mom, why, why is it that you show up for my siblings so much, but you don't show up for me in that way? And I never forget my mom saying, oh, and I said to her, I needed you. I needed you. I need you a lot. But you seem to have your efforts invested in other places. And you seem to so easily show up for my siblings when I've always needed you. But I've felt like I've had to figure it out on my own. I'm the eldest of, it's four of us. And so I'm going to tell you what my mom said to me. And not only do I give this example a lot with clients, I keep this in the back of my mind to remind me of the value of using your words and not making assumptions. She said, Sade, I never knew you needed me. She said, I never knew you needed me. She said, you always figure things out on your own. And if you specifically needed something, you would ask. But quite often, you figured it out. I was the first person to, like, when I graduated high school, I wanted to go away. I already knew that. We did college tours. I said, I'm going to Tuskegee. Mind you, I'm from LA. So I wanted to go across the United States by myself. But that's always been who I am. I kind of dance to my own beat, or whatever the hell the saying is. I've always done that. It's not anything new. I do whatever I like, whatever feels good to me, and I make everything mine, from the fashion that I wear and the things I put together, to my home, to the way that I speak and show up. Authenticity has always been my strong suit. So she's like, well, I never knew you needed me. I always thought if you needed me, you would ask. And I thought that was so interesting. She said, because I always knew your sisters needed more. So that's where I put my effort, on top of the fact that you're the oldest. So I was learning and doing a lot of what I learned as a parent, as a kid, from my parents. And a lot of that was I learned on my own. I didn't have anyone to come to. So this was also a new experience, parenting a child, because I essentially parented you the way I was parented. And then I was learning as I was going. So it was really hard figuring things out with you, because you were also so independent and so forward thinking, and you had your own thoughts and ideas about things. So I also didn't want to stomp on that energy. Um, so again, it was a really beautiful conversation, but I asked the question. The question is, do you think your sisters were asking, or she saw a weakness in them? I think it was both, and I wouldn't necessarily use the word weakness. I think it was they had more obvious needs. Their needs were more obvious, and mine's were not. I am, and no, I didn't just have my mom. So it was my mom and my dad. My parents were married for about 15, 16 years. And then they separated or divorced. And then they married other people. So my dad has been with his partner, with his wife now, till since shortly thereafter. So maybe 20 years at this point or something like that. Um, and then my mom remarried. So I had both of my parents, but my dad is not an emotional person. My dad is very much a provider. He is a provider's provider. Now, one thing he gonna do, which is where I get my work ethic from. My one thing my dad is gonna do, if he doesn't do anything else, is he's gonna go to work and make that money, honey. Okay, he's going to make the money, but he was very emotionally unavailable. But my dad also is someone who would spend a lot of time with us. So he bought us go karts. He was the coach of my basketball team. That's where I learned my love of video games, because we would play together. And now one thing he gonna do is spend time with you, and show up for you. But he's not that person. If I called and said, "Hey, Dad, this is what I need," there's no questions asked. As of right now, and it's funny that we've been talking about this right now. My daughter, my oldest, well, excuse me, my middle daughter is in California with my dad and his wife, spending the summer with them, because he's that kind of grandparent. And again, over the years, he's become increasingly emotionally available, but he was not as a kid at all. So again, the expectation is my mom is the emotional person. She is the one that was emotionally available, but now in hindsight, she wasn't. She was a young mom of three kids, uh, taking on a career. She didn't have a college degree. She was just trying to figure things out. She had her own hurts, harms, traumas that she was working through, that she had experienced, and she was just doing her very best. So I need to be more clear about what I needed, without the expectation that she understood that's what I needed, because she didn't. And again, the image or message that I typically give off to people is that I have all my shit together. And quite frankly, I am batshit Looney Tunes. And I have meltdowns and all the things that everybody else has. And I have my safe spaces and people that I rely on. But quite frankly, I'm someone who isolates. Before I go out in the world and get all this advice and shit, I will go in internally and identify and process what my feelings are, figure out where this is coming from, my trigger, my this, that, and the third, before because I am an Aries. I hate when people say that shit, but I've found this to be very parallel or aligned. I am explosive. My feelings are very big. I'm a very small woman. I'm 4'10", but my feelings are very big. My mouth is very large. The words that I say are very intentional and piercing. So I like to be very as intentional as I can about how I communicate with other people, especially when I'm going through something. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm going through shit, I don't necessarily want your advice. I don't want to hear you say what I could have, should have done. At least not in the beginning. All right. Let me vent and be whatever my feelings are garnering at that point. Let me have it. Okay? Don't start with you should, you could. I don't want to hear none of that shit. None of it. So I prevent myself from being disappointed by protecting my space, and I isolate and I figure it out. Um, and then I go to seek support when I'm prepared to receive the support. I seek support when I'm prepared to receive the support. I want to repeat that again. I seek support when I am prepared to receive the support. Quite often, people will seek support and they are not prepared to receive it. They don't even know how to tell this individual what they're needing at that particular point. Do I need a hug? Do I need to just vent? Do I need to talk? Do I want to hear advice? So then they're resentful of whatever they have to offer, with the person not even understanding what you need. Isn't that a setup for disappointment? um, I just think that that's very, very interesting. And I appreciate you guys again for coming in. If you're just coming in with us, my intention is to go live a lot more often. So make sure you have your notifications on. I love having the interaction with you guys. I try to post consistently. It is such a job. Uh, my goal in social media was to market my business, to bring, of course, more income for myself and all of that. And y'all, it is very, very time consuming. So I'm trying my very best and going live. Again, for those of you who missed my live the other day, I talk for a living. I'm quite frank, whether I'm talking to my staff in meetings or emails. I seeing clients all day, y'all. I don't have it a lot of the time, so it is encumbersome for me. I don't even like talking on the phone, but I do really want to interact more. I'm trying my best to build my brand with me, with you guys getting to know me as a person, not just the content that you see, because that very much aligns with who I am, the dancing and all that kind of shit. That's who I am as a person. But I want you all to be able to interact with me and get to know a little more about me. So that is my intention in doing this a bit more frequently. I want to read some more of y'all comments. I'm sorry. How do you deal with others when they take your isolation personally? So one of the things I started doing with one of my really good friends was that I'll say, if they call, I say, hey, I don't have it today. I will talk to you when I have it. I don't have it. I'm in my mood. Let me do what I'm doing. And they understand. If they take it personally, that's not my problem. And that can sound very harsh, but that's a personal issue. I need what I need, and I cannot be the very best version of myself, or even a good friend, daughter, mother, wife, dot 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 behind that, if I am not at my best, and if I cannot take care of myself. That is a boundary. If my boundary offends you, we can talk about it, but also, what part of that is my problem? If I need time to myself, that's just what I need. That's no offense to anyone else. But I also can't be the sole provider of your things. So I hope that you don't have your universe set up that way. Uh, yeah, nah. And I want people to also keep in mind, I spend my day embroiled in the suffering of others, in their hurts, in their traumas, in their pains, in their harms, in their experiences, in their venting, in their struggle, in their strife. I'm embroiled in it all day, every day. I have very little capacity to take care of other people, period. On top of the fact that I'm a mother of three, 28 and 2. You heard what I said, 28 and 2 years old. I have a husband. That's a whole nother conversation, right? I own a business. I've owned my practice for 8 years. I have employees. I have staff that I am financially responsible for, that I'm emotionally responsible for. Um, I have parents that I love to pieces. I have grandparents. I have siblings. I have family. I have so many people, places, and things on my plate. I deserve a break. I deserve isolation if I need it. I deserve distance if I need it. I deserve whatever I need at the time. And if that personally offends you, okay. So I hope for y'all listening. Now, let me also pivot this with this. I do tell people, if you're really going through a crisis or some real shit, and I told you I don't necessarily have the capacity, yada, 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 I need you to say that. I need you to say, hey, Sade, I need you to call me. I got some real shit going on. No problem. But if it's, hey, girl, what you doing today? No, 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 no. But if it is actually some real shit, I'm here for that. I'm not at all like, excuse me, y'all, because my battery's dying, so I want to charge my. Oh shit. Okay, I need to charge my phone. All right. If there's real shit going on, let me know. But don't assume that I'm not gonna be available if you never told me it was that. If I just think it's just regular shit, no, 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 no. But if you got real shit going on, listen, sis can turn it on immediately. What do you need? What's going on? What the fuck is that? You need me to pull up? Because I'm that kind of friend. Do I need to pull up? Can I send you something in the mail to make you smile? Can I love on you in some way? Thank you so much, Allie. And for those of you who are enjoying it, please send roses or whatever those things are. I'm very much trying to like build that. It feels like begging. I don't like it. But I thank y'all so much. My goal in this was 5 roses. Thank you so much, Allie. I appreciate you. And don't think I also don't see you in the comments, Allie. You are consistently engaging and giving insight and giving, supporting, and providing your perspective. And I really, really appreciate it. Can I just say to you guys, posting a lot of this content again for me feels like an additional job. It is quite exhausting, but it brings me a lot of joy to read your comments and experience the impact, because more than like marketing and the idea or hope that is, of course, my primary focus is like, okay, I need to market, I need to be able to expand my income profile. More than that, this is a passion project for me. I really want to build our community and pour into people, because so many people are struggling. So many people just need a positive word, a positive message, someone to give them information, someone to identify the thing they've been feeling, but they couldn't put words to. So many times people just need a place to go. So that's also one of the really important reasons why I do this. So I appreciate you guys. Well, that's actually, Ali, a really good question, or a really good statement. So, y'all, this was actually a conversation yesterday in one of the therapist groups that I'm a part of, and they were talking about how, or one person was talking about how they had a client who was seeing them as a therapist and then was taking like a lot of the stuff they were working with and on to their coach. And I'm not sure how many of you know how it typically works, at least with therapists. I don't typically allow people to double dip because it could be contradicting in the work that we're doing. So, like, if someone has a therapist, I just let them have their therapist, unless they are like doing couples therapy and they come to me for individual or vice versa. So, my degree is in marriage and family therapy. That is the work that I do. I do systems works, meaning um, I work from the ground up. We go through childhood, we go through all the things because that's just how I love to. Um, really get involved and get a picture of the person that I'm working with. So we go back to childhood. That is just the way that I work. Now, not every therapist wants to do that, and not everybody wants to work that way. So I respect that. But I'm also someone who says, hey, this is how I do what I do. If it works for you, great. Let's see if this works for both of us. If it doesn't, you can find someone it works for. But you also want to be thoughtful about having two providers because you don't want it to be contradictory in your work. So I like it again, unless someone's coming to me. I have a couple coming to me for couples therapy, which I love, by the way, or I do family therapy. So I love, like, I had a client, an adult client that I work with her parents. I love that kind of work, or some for friends or something like that. Um, oh, you guys can find me. Thank you for that question. You guys can find me. My website is the Mahogany Project. My project is spelled projek.com. It has all of my information there. That's my official website. Everything from my merch to contact information. You can submit a form there, and my receptionist will reach out. And if you do that, let me know because I'm not officially taking clients right now. So let me know that you did that because they're probably going to try to give you to one of my other therapists. But let me know. You can also message me so I can get you set up, but I would prefer you go through my website if you can, simply because that'll allow my receptionist to reach out and do all that. But if you provide, blah, 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 if you provide, oh man, but I'm on the East Coast. So this is a caveat for anyone who lives in the state of Virginia. I can offer both. I just lost my train of thought. Both therapy and coaching. But if you are um, not in Virginia, I can only offer coaching, which is a different service. The other thing is, come the fall, so I am working hard, you guys. Come the fall, I want to schedule a live workshop. So, and I don't want to give away the topics just yet because I'm developing the workshop. But I'll be doing a live workshop that you guys can join and get direct interaction with your questions and stuff like that on the particular topic I'll be offering at the time. And then I'll also I'm relaunching my online academy, so I'll have live talks in the courses, but there'll be self-help courses on authenticity and confidence building and parenting and all kind of shit like that. So please look out for that. I'll definitely be marketing it more because I do very bad, y'all, with trying to market it other than putting it in my description. I'm trying to do better about that part. But I'm be honest, just even building or getting interaction, building people interacting with the content has been has been such um, a chore. It has been so hard. I started doing TikTok at COVID 2020, and it feels like this year is where I'm really taking off. And it's been 5 years, so I'm rebuilding my YouTube page. So Sade the Therapist on YouTube. I'm starting a new YouTube page there. I'm just trying to rebuild things because it's been hard. Thank you so much. I'm so glad it does. You guys, listen. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret because I was gonna make a post about this, a TikTok about this, which I probably still will. What really blows my gasket is that I find that people interact so much more with the content that is symptom focused or what's wrong with me focused than encouragement and affirmations and loving. And people seem to really engage more when it's, I don't even want to use the word problematic, but when it's like problematic or symptom focused. I don't really, I guess that's the part I guess I don't understand. I love content that is affirming, that is encouraging, that is investing in your well-being, which all of my content does. It just is a bit different. So I just wanted to say that out loud because I noticed that a lot, you guys. Like, people will engage in stuff more often, even if you just look at the numbers, when it's atypical symptoms of depression, atypical symptoms of this, or symptoms of that, and 5 signs of this, versus 5 tips. And y'all forgive me because I'm getting my hair cut tonight. Okay, no judgment here. Um, Affirmate. When I used to, most of my content before was affirmations, and I really didn't get a lot of engagement on it. And even still now, it's so much less than 5 signs you're the problem, which is so funny to me. Because I'm like, what is going on? I have 1 million view video, and that was on emotional incest. And people had a time in the comments, you guys. People had a time in the comments, and I'm like, yo, for all of the positive, like loving, affirming, encouraging, motivating things that I post, y'all went wild on emotional incest. I don't know. I don't get it, but okay. But I also maybe think that's because people are struggling so much, that they just want something to affirm the thing they've been thinking or feeling. So I also recognize that, like, damn, finally somebody is saying the thing that I felt or thought, and I haven't had words to, or nobody would listen to. So that is also one of the purposes of my content, is like to say the thing that's usually not said. And I say that in session, like, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the thing that needs to be said. Now, you don't have to, I don't care about agreeing with me. Confront me, challenge me. Let's talk through it. But I'm certainly not going to sugarcoat with you. I don't bullshit. I don't have time. I want to get you in and get you out. I don't want to see you for your whole life. No, thank you. The way my energy and attention is set up, I am not interested. Okay. I love you enough to let you go. Peace, bye. That is my approach to therapy. Now, have I had some clients much longer than others? Of course, but I don't want to keep people their whole lives. The best thing I can do is support you, teach you some skills. We can support you in working through all the things that you need to work through, and then let you go use all the things in the world. Because how do you know it's working if you don't ever go and try on your own? Thank you. It's because everyone is hurting and trying to figure it out. I 100% agree with that. 100%, because I realize that. I'm like, people are they're hurting. Do you think it's because people can't absorb the affirmation? And maybe that was a beautiful way to put it, and I didn't think of it that way. So I really appreciate that. Maybe it is because I am struggling so much I can't receive the other things, because this is what's right in front of me, and it is so abrasive and aggressive. I can't see around it. So 100%, they need clarification about themselves before they can take in any added information. I think that you're right, and I actually want to make a note of that, just to kind of keep that at the forefront, because again, capacity is everything. We can't assume people have the capacity to receive love and affirmation and encouragement if they are so embroiled in hurt, harm, and things that they just don't understand right now. So I definitely want to keep that at the forefront of my mind, because I want to be cognizant of that, and like conscious and compassionate to that. Because that's really important. So I really appreciate y'all for saying that. That's really important. That was really important. That was really important for me to hear today. And I'm taking it in too. I really love that. Oh, okay. My receptionist was messaging me. So I just want to make sure there wasn't anything, because she called me and I wanted to make sure nothing was on fire. So, okay, y'all, at the start of this, I was letting y'all know I have a bunch of interviews lined up today. I am interviewing for a marketing intern, and I'm interviewing for a counseling intern. So, y'all, please cross your fingers, pray, meditate, whatever you do. Throw a little bit in there for me. I cannot stand doing interviews. it is so time consuming and socially exhausting. It just is. But I know this is what I got to do in order to build and grow. And I get a new intern every year, so it's just that time. And then for marketing, this is my first time getting a marketing interview, intern, because like I said, I want to build my YouTube. I want to consistently grow the way that I am marketing my products and my business. I have an exciting product coming out possibly in the fall, that is a completely new experience. So I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can do to be prepared and have all my resources in line. So, yeah, but I promise. My goal is to come live more often. I cannot tell y'all when. Please just have on your notifications. Even if you're at work and you could just put your headphones in, and listen. Uh, I don't have a time to schedule it because it literally is like, oh, I got a few minutes. Let me drop it in now. Oh, I got, again, today I got home a little bit early from some stuff that I had to do this morning. So I was like, okay, perfect. Let me drop it in before I start interviews because I'll be interviewing till 5 o'clock this evening. It's going to be a very, very, very loyal day. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Please let me know. I don't know why you weren't able to get it too, but I am, y'all. Do a better. I saw it on my. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And again, thank y'all for hanging in there with me. My goal is to come live more often. I'm probably gonna post something again today. And I also try to do it on the weekends. And I'm trying just kind of different times. But if you have time in between, you go on and you like YouTube, Sade the Therapist on YouTube, The Mahogany Project. Project is spelled Projek, which is my website. You'll get notifications about like events and all that kind of stuff too from there. Um, what else? My shirt, In the Trap Healing and Shit, is on my website. Oh, and for those of you that came at the end, I was talking about my plant babies. I was introducing some of them. Alocasias are my favorites. So she is living right now. And then I got two new babies yesterday. She's so cute. She's so cute. Um, and then her here. So I am gonna do a bit more plant talk because I realize people always ask about like my plants and stuff. Um, and so my office is a sunroom. I turned my sunroom into my office. So I have a lot of, I don't know how many I have in here, but I probably have almost 60 to 70 plants, all, in different places in my house and stuff. But this is a sunroom, so it's wrapped in windows. So this is, of course, primarily where I have my plants, especially because I love plants. I am obsessed, quite frankly. It's my hobby. It is my love. Um, yes, and I'm copying more. So this week I got three, one, two, three this week, and I have two more on the way. So I can't wait to show you guys those that I just got. And then I split one of my babies who needed to be split. So, but I'll do a lot more plant talk. It's interestingly enough, my husband was just talking about how I should talk more about my plants because I love them and I spend hours and hours taking care of them. Treating them, all the things. So I am going to make sure I make that a part of my lives more, is to talk about plants and the process of taking care of them. If you guys have some questions about that, again, I am not an expert. I am learning as I go. I do a lot of research to try to figure out how to do things and all that kind of stuff. So I will share that with you. I love plants. I'll also grow fruits and vegetables as well, herbs, things like that. I also tuft. So I tuft rugs. That's one of my great hobbies, is I tuft rugs. So I can show you guys some of my rugs next time when we do a live. But I thank you guys for joining me. And I would like to start, and it can be simple. You want to start like with planting or with tufting? Which were you referring to? Like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, we could talk about plant, and what we'll do too is I'll talk about the plants that are the easiest to start with. So let me give you an example, actually, really quick. One of my oldest plants. Before we go, because I got 2 minutes to get in these damn interviews. But let me talk to you guys real quick about one that I love that has been with me. Maybe I've had her 6 years or something, maybe longer than that. She, right here, I put her next to the wall. She's now growing up the wall all on her own. And then this is how long she is. And she is a pathos. Pathos are really, really easy to grow. They don't need a lot of energy from you and a lot of movement. They don't need a lot of watering. I water her once a week. They don't need a whole bunch of light. That's actually one of the plants that cannot have a lot of direct light, and they will grow beautifully. So I have a baby of hers in my room that I don't have a whole lot of light in my room, but she's growing beautifully. So pathos are one of the easiest to grow. And like I said, this is all her. All of this is her. The growing up the wall is her. So it's a really easy plant to start if you want to start with a pathos. And some of the cheapest ways to buy plants are I will like sometimes you can find some gems at like a Home Depot or a Lowe's sometimes. But one of the things my friends put me on, but this is they get real serious in these groups. I'm just gonna forewarn you. I think my first 2 weeks in the group, I bought probably 10 plants. It was obsessive. I got obsessed. So I had to take a break and exit. But they have groups on Facebook for plants. And so I am in groups for plants and people will sell plants. So like the two plants that I got yesterday, I went and picked up. They were like 30 to 45 minutes away. I went and picked those up because I bought them from someone in a Facebook group for plants. But again, I love plants. I love them. So yes, it is a great way to involve it because again, it's about clean air. It's about taking care of something. You invest in something. But I appreciate you guys. Take care. Have a beautiful day, y'all. Bye.